Yeah.
Let's come to order. And again, I want to welcome all the students here and visitors to our Thursday, April 21st, 2016 County Commission work session. First order of business is a presentation of a proclamation by Judge Patrick Pinkston, County Extension Department of Human Resources for Child Abuse Prevention Month. Judge Pinkston.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, students, and other concerned individuals. I'm going to turn and face you, if I may. This is Child Abuse Prevention Month. I'm going to read to you a proclamation in just a moment that I, in my capacity as presiding juvenile judge, and the Commission together have joined forces, if you will, in proclaiming. Now, as I read this to you, while you'll hear the terms child abuse prevention, I'd also like for you to think about bullying within the context of child abuse and neglect. So think about that as we read this proclamation. Whereas preventing child abuse and neglect is a community challenge that requires the involvement of people throughout the community. And whereas child maltreatment often occurs when people find themselves in stressful situations without sufficient community resources, and they do not know how to adequately cope. And whereas the majority of child abuse cases stem from situations and conditions that are preventable in an engaged and supportive community, and whereas child abuse and neglect can be reduced by making sure each family has the support needed to raise children in a healthy environment, and whereas all citizens should become involved in supporting families in the raising children in safe, nurturing environments, and whereas effective child abuse prevention programs succeed because of partnerships created among social service agencies, schools, faith communities, civic organizations, law enforcement agencies, and the business community, now therefore we hereby proclaim April as Child Abuse Prevention Month and call on all citizens, community agencies, faith groups, medical facilities, and businesses to increase their participation in efforts to support families, thereby preventing child abuse and strengthening the community in which we live. Signed this 11th day of April 2016, District Judge Patrick D. Pinkston, Commission Chairman David Bowen, Commissioner Stephanie Daniel Smoke, Commissioner Mark Rachel, Commissioner Trey Taylor, and Commissioner Joe Falk. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Judge Pinkston. And I'd like to ask that we can take a photo here for the record. So. He's going to be in the photo. We're going to stand or yes? Well, sure. You don't need to stand. Let's stand. You didn't hear me. Down? Come on up. Did you get everybody? Squeeze in. All right, thank you. We got it. We got it. Oh. Thank you. I appreciate it. Good to see you. All right, thank you, Judge Pinkston. And all right, under regular business, review of the minutes from the April 11th, 2016 Commission meeting. The Commissioners have had an opportunity to read the minutes. Is there any additions, deletions, or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none. Next, under regular business, review of memorandum of warrants for a period of April 6, 2016 through April 20th, 2016. Ms. McDuffie?
Yes, Chairman. The memorandum of warrants for the period stated is $1,070,956.
Thank you. Any questions for the Administrator? Next, under new business, Leslie York, Central Alabama Regional Planning, Fair Housing Month Proclamation. Is Ms. York here? Yes.
Hey, good morning to you all. In an effort to support fair housing and equal opportunity, Governor of the State of Alabama has proclaimed April Fair Housing Month, and he has asked that all local governments also select the month of April as Fair Housing Month to try and promote fair housing and equal opportunity in your communities. So we have a proclamation this morning regarding that, and it reads, whereas the month of April is recognized as Fair Housing Month and marks the 48th anniversary of the passage of the Fair Housing Act, Title 8 of the Civil Rights Act of 1968, as amended, which enunciates a national policy of fair housing without regard to race, color, religion, sex, familial status, disability, national origin, and actual or perceived sexual orientation or gender identity, and encourages fair housing opportunities for all. And whereas the Elmore County Commission is committed to highlight the Fair Housing Act by continuing to address discrimination in our community, to support programs that will educate the public about the right to equal housing opportunities, and to plan partnership efforts with each other and other organizations to help assure all citizens of their right to fair housing. Now, therefore, we, the Commissioners of Elmore County, do hereby resolve that April 2016, being Fair Housing Month, begins a year-long commemoration of the Fair Housing Act in Elmore County, and urge all citizens to wholeheartedly recognize this celebration throughout the year. This will be approved this 21st day of April 2016 by the Chairman.
Thank you, Ms. York.
Thank you.
Any comments from the Commission on this? Next, this year marks a special year in the history of Elmore County. This year, Elmore County celebrates its 150th anniversary or sesquicentennial. In recognition of this milestone for Elmore County, the County Commission wants to present a resolution. Ms. Erb, would you read that resolution, please?
Whereas the County of Elmore recognizes the anniversary of its creation, formed from portions of Autauga, Coosa, Montgomery, and Tallapoosa counties on February 15, 1866 by the Legislature of Alabama, and whereas in January of 1867 the first members of Elmore County's government were elected and Wetumpka designated as the county seat by the newly elected probate judge, and whereas the county court was originally held in Haggerty Hall until the original courthouse was built in 1868, and later replaced in 1931 with the current courthouse. And whereas the government of Elmore County has made great strides to meet the demands of one of the fastest growing populations in Alabama by expanding facilities from the original county jail and courthouse to include a county shop, judicial complex, emergency operations center, storage facility, 2 probate tag satellite offices, driver's license office, and today has broken ground for the new courthouse annex. And whereas we commend the citizens for making Elmore County a great place to live and work, as the population has grown from 14,477 during the 1870 census to 79,303 residents at the 2010 census. And whereas we express our appreciation to all former and present county employees and elected officials that are a reflection of the diligence and ingenuity of Elmore County over the past 150 years. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Elmore County Commission on this 21st day of April 2016, we recognize and celebrate the sesquicentennial of Elmore County and look forward to what the future holds.
Thank you, Ms. Erb. Does any commissioner have any comments about the resolution? Next, on new business, consider ITS addendum to the Wide Area Network and the Voice over IP contract for bandwidth increase at Courthouse, Highway Department, and EOC. Who wants to speak to that?
I'll speak to that, Chairman. The internet speed that we originally contracted was at 10, and that is not enough for the 3 buildings that are listed. There's a lot of people on the computer at the same time, and this is increasing the speed up to 50, and that's the agreement. We need the service increased at these 3 locations.
And how much additional per month is that going to cost?
That's $300 a month per location, so a $900 increase in our internet service.
Any questions or comments?
Yeah, I have a quick question, Mr. Chairman. Ms. McDuffie, what does the original contract cost? I know you said 10 is what we were originally contracted for.
10.
At what price? Do you recall?
It was, it would have been $800 a month per building. And
for the 10 per building at 800?
Yes.
Per building. Okay.
And so this will be an additional $300 up to $1,100 per month for the 3 building, for each building.
Which would give them additional
$900 a month.
Okay. On the speed width.
Yes.
Okay.
On the bandwidth.
Bandwidth. Okay.
All right. Any other questions? I think 10 megabytes is a very slow speed. We should have caught that to begin with when we negotiated this contract. But, all right. Next, discuss polling site contract for Red Hill Community Center.
This is a request from the Red Hill Community Center, Ms. Paula Castleberry, and she's just asking to be paid for the use of the Red Hill Community Center. There's several sites that we do pay $300 per election, and she's just asking that they have an agreement with the county to be paid the $300 per election, as some of the other polling sites are.
Okay. Any discussion? Any questions?
I have a quick question, if you will, for Commissioner Taylor, if you don't mind, Mr. Chairman. Is this your area?
Yes.
Do you have any information further on this?
I have none on it. And what I'm saying in that's usually they haven't signed a contract prior to this. So all the polling sites generally sign a contract.
Yes.
And this is the only one that has it.
Okay. Thank you, Commissioner Taylor.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Next, consider ALDOT for project number ACAA 65112-ATRP 015, widening and resurfacing on Greer Road, County Road 209 from Weoka Road to Bam Road, length 11.44 miles. Mr. Byer.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, that should say consider ALDOT agreement. This is our last ATRIP project. This is the project that we did a swap with the City of Tallahassee for some money that was allocated to them originally for their part of Friendship Road, and we've agreed to do that under a separate project with them. This also includes money that has been saved or savings that are realized on the previous ATRIP projects. So we will be taking bids the end of this month. That's why this agreement is necessary. But we'll also be looking at the final bid price for our match requirements. We'll have a small amount of match that will come back to us from our savings on our other projects, but we will have to provide the match right now while those projects are getting closed out and we get the match back. We're in the process of trying to get every single one of them closed, but it could be this budget year or into next budget year before we realize all the savings on the match has already been extended to the Department of Transportation. If y'all remember, the process is that we get the bid award, and then we have to front the match up front, and then we get closeout on the tail end. So basically, it'll be a net zero to the county, but we have to front it on the front end here. So
Thank you, Mr. Byer. I don't want to put you on the spot, but just for the information for the students, can you kind of review the tremendous amount of road work that's been accomplished over the last couple of years?
Well, the A-TRIP program is a program Governor Bentley put out for counties and cities to be able to improve infrastructure, roads and bridges in their jurisdictions. Our county, along with some local money that the county commission put with it, has accomplished about $24.5 million worth of road work in the last 24 to 30 months. To put that in perspective, a typical county would get about $500,000 of funds to be able to provide a 20% match per year. So you're talking about the county receiving well over 20 years worth of money in a short period of time. We're a little unique in the state in terms of there's a number of counties that participate in a MPO, or a Metropolitan Planning Organization. So we realize a little bit more money than what the typical rural county would, but it's still well over about 10 to 15 years worth of money that we have put back into infrastructure in a short period of time. So the county commission has done nearly 200 miles of their 1,000-mile network, been able to improve it over the last 24 to 30 months.
Thank you, Mr. Byer. Does any commissioners have any other comments?
Nope.
Next, under the consent docket, approve 40-hour sick leave donation from Jerry Mann to Charles Harrell. Approve 40-hour sick leave donation from Richie Byer to Charles Harrell, and the Trava memo. Is there any one of these items that any commissioner wants to pull out for separate consideration? Next, under personnel notification, notification of reclassification of Terry Brown, group leader to construction supervisor, effective 5/2/16. Notification of hire of Samuel Terry Pogue, equipment operator 2, replace T. Blue, effective 5/2/16. Notification of hire of Adam Blake Cooper, equipment operator 2, replace C. Parker, effective 5/2/16. These are our personnel notifications for this meeting. Next, reports to the commission. Each one of the departments that are being called on have a unique role in our county government. The first person that's going to give a report is our county administrator, Grace McDuffie. Ms. McDuffie is in charge of running the commission office. She also does the budgeting for the county. So, Ms. McDuffie, you want to give your report and just kind of introduce yourself? And
Thank you, Chairman. I'd like to wish or welcome everybody here today, all the seniors. I'm a CPA with a master's degree in accounting, and I just want to encourage every one of you to go on to college, do your best, and there is a lot of areas in accounting that you can go into other than tax. Most people relate CPAs to tax work. That's far from the truth. There's many areas you can go into in accounting besides working 100 hours a week from January 1st to April 15th. So you do have 8 to 5 jobs in accounting. So I would just encourage you to go on to school and consider accounting for your major. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. McDuffie. Next, every county in the state of Alabama has an engineer, and our county engineer is Richie Byer. He is responsible for maintaining the roads in the county. Mr. Byer, do you want to say something?
Yes, sir, Mr. Commissioner. Mr. Chairman, my name is Richie Byer. I'm a civil engineer. I have a bachelor's degree in civil engineering from Florida State University. I also am a professional engineer, which means when you get out of school, you serve under another professional engineer for a minimum of 4 years. There's 2 tests you take. You take a fundamentals and a professional exam to become licensed. And every county engineer, every county in the state has to have a licensed professional engineer on staff. There's some incentives for the county to do that with funding set up with the state. But our state is one of a handful across the country that have that requirement, and I believe you'll see if you go out and about outside the borders of Alabama that we have a pretty good professional group that runs the roads and bridges and engineering departments in the state. I have a couple assistants that work under me that are licensed engineers as well. When they come out of school, just like I did, they work under a professional engineer, and it gives them the opportunity. So if any of you are familiar with the Department of Transportation, they have similar programs as the counties do. Some cities have that set up as well. The City of Montgomery, for example, is big enough to have that. Prattville has that in our county. And then some of them have consulting engineers that some of the cities do that work for them. So somebody that has my qualifications in terms of being a professional engineer work on an on-call basis for cities. So a lot of the stuff that we do requires the professional engineers to sign or stamp documents for design. And we also do all the bridge inspection for the 127 what they call BRM eligible bridges. A bridge is something that is 20 foot and larger that crosses a waterway or a crevice. Those have to be inspected on a cycle based on federal guidelines. So all that falls under our purview. We have 1,000 miles of roadway here in the county that we're responsible for, about 800 paved, 200 that are dirt or unpaved. I mentioned the bridges. We estimate, because we don't have the ability to go out and count every one of them, but we have over 8,000 drainage structures in the county that we're responsible for. So in addition to that, the commission several years ago put the buildings and facilities under the county engineer, so we manage that as well. So all the facilities that the chairman mentioned that the county has, we manage that, from cleaning to things like you witnessed a minute ago, the groundbreaking for a new annex, dealing with the construction of that. So, Mr. Chairman, that's all I have in the way of the background. I would like to mention a couple of things for you related to the building and the annex. The bids have gone out for advertising. That bid opening for the annex will be May 17th at 2 o'clock here at the courthouse. We are continuing to work with FEMA and FHWA on our flood relief. We started getting some checks in about a week and a half ago, and I've been working with the administrator on reimbursing our gasoline accounts on that. And then we are going to, because of all the rain that we've had over the winter and late fall, we're actually going to start our mowing operation about a month early, and we're going to start that the first week in May. Because of the rain and also the high winds, we've had a difficult time getting our herbicide applied like we would. We've had that happen a handful of times since I've been here. We've just upped the mowing cycle to go ahead and get that presence out there for the county. So, Mr. Chairman, that's all I have in the way of report. Do you have any questions of me?
Thank you, Mr. Byer. Any comments or questions? Next, Mr. Eric Jones. He is our Emergency Management Agency Director, and he is responsible for coordinating the response to any kind of natural disaster or man-made disaster, for that fact. And I want to give him an opportunity to introduce himself and give a little speech about what he does.
Yeah, my name is Eric Jones. I am a lifelong resident of Elmore County, grew up in the Millbrook area, and now reside up in the Santuck community. Graduated from Edgewood Academy and graduated with a bachelor's degree in environmental science from Auburn University at Montgomery. I've got a little bit over 20 years experience in the fire service in both volunteer and career departments, and really enjoyed the public safety career, and then also been able to serve in the public safety sector in my home county, in our wonderful county here in Elmore County. As the chairman said, our role with emergency management is coordination and collaboration among all of our local stakeholders, to include the public safety arena with fire, law enforcement, EMS, also coordinating with our local elected officials, local, state, and federal elected officials, and then also our public works agencies and utilities. When we are impacted by major emergencies or disaster situations, our office becomes the coordination point and liaison between the local agencies and state agencies for the disaster relief or the assistance that we may get through those federal or state programs. Much of our time, however, is spent in the preparedness phase of emergency management. We do a lot of planning, we do a lot of training and exercises, we do a lot of coordination on days like today with our stakeholder agencies to make sure that we are prepared and ready to respond whenever we do have a major emergency situation or disaster situation in the county. And I would be very remiss if I did not mention the coordination and collaboration role that we have with all of our community service partners. We have a myriad of volunteer and nonprofit faith-based organizations that provide tremendous relief to individuals whenever we also have those situations in the county. And there are a lot of roles that those agencies fulfill that government cannot fulfill. And in public service, all of us serve in public service, and there are a lot of public service opportunities, but there are also a lot of tremendous volunteer opportunities right here in your home county that are extremely rewarding. And I would just encourage you, if you feel the call to plug in as a volunteer to serve, whether it's with one of our human resource agencies for helping out with the child abuse, if it's working with a disaster relief organization, or if it's working with somebody like the Red Cross or Salvation Army, or the faith-based organizations here in the county, we have a tremendous effort efficient program across our county with our faith-based organizations, and there are a lot of opportunities to plug in there. And I would just encourage you, as y'all are looking at ways to plug into your community, to look at a lot of those avenues to do just that. And then remember that there are some tremendous opportunities to be able to serve in public safety here in your county as well, whether it's emergency management. We're just a four-person staff here in our county, but then also fire, law enforcement, and EMS. There are some tremendous opportunities there as well. But look forward to talking to several of you today. And Chairman, as Richie did, I'd like to give just a brief report of a couple of the activities we've been working on. Last week in our EOC training room, we hosted the All Hazards Incident public information class, and I would just like to publicly thank Mayor Gillespie and Davenport. Both of them participated in the class and really added a lot to the class for about 22 students there. We also are working with Haynes to offer some CPR AED training that we've been coordinating. We've got a couple of those classes coming up. We've also got a couple of other training classes for our first responders on hazardous material awareness, and then we've also got a citizen preparedness training class that we've been working on developing, and then we're going to host that hopefully in about a month. We're going to start getting that literature out. We also have the state hurricane exercise coming up on May 18th that we will most likely be participating out of the EOC as an EOC drill for that exercise. Planning-wise, we're working on getting all of the jurisdictions that are required to adopt our hazard mitigation plan. 9 of those required jurisdictions out of the 15 required that have to adopt it have already done so. And we're working with those others to get that accomplished. We also expect, speaking about hazard mitigation funding, we're also expecting a round of hazard mitigation funding to be released very soon off of the flash flood disaster that Mr. Byer mentioned a moment ago. And then finally, I'll mention that the EOC building project, just as an update, we are continuing to work on some issues with the general contractor with Bullard Cook to accomplish the closeout of that project, the building project. And numerous items, I'll just report, numerous items have been addressed over the last week and a half or so, and I'm hopeful that we'll have the remaining items addressed in the next couple of weeks. And I'd just like to commend Mr. Earl Reiser again, and Mr. Richard Allen of Capel and Howard. They've both been very helpful over the last few weeks getting that progress that we have. And as a reminder, the Sorrelco Golf Tournament, the Search and Rescue of Elmore County Golf Tournament, which is their primary fundraiser for the year, is next Friday, if any of y'all are interested in attending. So that's all I have at this time. Chairman, Commissioner, do y'all have any questions of me?
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Any questions? Next, County Attorney Chris Weller. Mr. Weller, do you have anything today?
I don't have anything to report today except for what we've done previously, but I'll just introduce myself. I'm Chris Weller. I'm the County Attorney. I'm in private practice with the law firm of Capel and Howard in Montgomery. This will be my 30th year of law practice. I went to undergrad at Furman University and went to law school at Sanford. And my role as the County Attorney is to provide the Commission and other county officials legal advice on a variety of issues. Some may be contracts for construction or an architectural review. I provide information and guidance to the Commission on laws and regulations on how to run the meetings, whether the meetings are complying with the administrative procedures and the Open Meetings Act, many other things. So my role is not like the Meghan Trainor song, telling everybody no all the time. And I field calls from everybody from the sheriff to the revenue commissioner to the, to the county administrator to any of the commissioners here. And I have a good support from my law firm. There are at least 4 or 5 other attorneys that work with me, because there's no way you could possibly have that field of knowledge. The law is very broad, so I have a good staff and a lot of good people to help provide information. But I hope you're enjoying yourself here today. It's a little warm in here. I'm not in charge of contract review for the HVAC system, so I will not take credit for that. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Weller. Next, important calendar dates, Ms. Erb, you want to read those, please?
Monday, April 25th, the courthouse will be closed in observance of Confederate Memorial Day. Monday, May 2nd, the Statement of Economic Interests are due. Monday, May 9th will be our next commission work session at 5 with the business meeting following. And I'd just like to say a special thank you to the Crosby Drinker Group for sponsoring today's lunch. That'll be provided by Smoke and S and Blue Ridge. Thank you for providing the water bottles.
Thank you, Ms. Erb. And I also want to recognize Ms. Kimberly Erb. She puts a lot of time and effort into organizing this every year, and she has done a great job. And let's thank her with a round of applause. We're going to adjourn from our work session and immediately go into our business meeting. The way the commission works is that we come in and have a work session where we discuss issues, and then we come back, prepare an agenda, and do the business of the county in our business meeting. So we're going to adjourn our work session and we're going to go into our business meeting. So y'all stay put here. Thank you. And I'd like to call the business meeting to order. I would like to ask Commissioner Taylor if he would give the invocation, and Commissioner Falk lead us in our Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us pray. Dear Lord, we thank you for this beautiful day, dear Lord. We thank you for these students who've come here today to learn about county government, dear Lord. Dear Lord, we ask that you bless this commission and the decisions that we're going to make for this county here in this commission meeting, dear Lord. Dear Lord, we thank you for the men who are serving overseas and serving in our military in the United States of America, and the freedoms that they give us for fighting for our freedoms and our right to vote, dear Lord. We thank you and ask that you watch over them, dear Lord, as they're out there, and we pray for their families also as they're away from their families, dear Lord. And we ask that you guide them, dear Lord, and keep them safe, dear Lord. Lord, we thank you so much, and we thank you for your Son, Jesus Christ, and all that he has done for us, dear Lord, dying on the cross for us and sacrificing his life that we might have eternal salvation. I ask all this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Let us stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Taylor?
Here.
Commissioner Falk?
Here.
Chairman Bowen?
Here.
Commissioner Rachel?
Yes.
Commissioner Daniel Smith?
Present.
Under regular business, a motion to approve the minutes from the April 11, 2016 commission meeting as presented in the work session.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Taylor?
Yes.
Commissioner Falk?
Yes.
Chairman Bowen?
Yes.
Commissioner Rachel?
Yes.
Commissioner Daniel Smith?
Yes.
Next, a motion to approve the memorandum of warrants for a period of April 6, 2016 through April 20, 2016.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Call the roll.
Commissioner Taylor?
Yes.
Commissioner Falk?
Yes.
Chairman Bowen?
Yes.
Commissioner Rachel?
Yes.
Commissioner Daniel Smith?
Yes.
Under new business, a motion to approve or deny Child Abuse Prevention Month proclamation.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Call the roll.
Commissioner Taylor?
Yes.
Commissioner Falk?
Yes.
Chairman Bowen?
Yes.
Commissioner Rachel?
Yes.
Commissioner Daniel Smith?
Yes.
Next, a motion to approve or deny Fair Housing Month proclamation.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Call the roll.
Commissioner Taylor?
Yes.
Commissioner Falk?
Yes.
Chairman Bowen?
Yes.
Commissioner Rachel?
Yes.
Commissioner Daniel Smith?
Yes.
Next, a motion to approve or deny the 150th anniversary of Elmore County Resolution.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Under discussion, I think it should be entered into the record, Mr. Chairman, that this resolution was passed during County Government Day of this year.
Without objection. Any other discussion? Call the roll.
Commissioner Taylor?
Yes.
Commissioner Falk?
Yes.
Chairman Bowen?
Yes.
Commissioner Rachel?
Yes.
Commissioner Daniel Smith?
Yes.
Motion to approve or deny ITS addendum for the Wide Area Network Voice over IP contract for bandwidth increase to the courthouse, highway department, and EOC, and authorize chairman to execute.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Call the roll.
Commissioner Taylor?
Yes.
Commissioner Falk?
Yes.
Chairman Bowen?
Yes.
Commissioner Rachel?
Abstain.
Commissioner Daniel Smith?
Yes.
Next, a motion to approve or deny polling site contract for Red Hill Community Center and authorize chairman to execute.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Call the roll.
Commissioner Taylor?
Yes.
Commissioner Falk?
Yes.
Chairman Bowen?
Yes.
Commissioner Rachel?
Yes.
Commissioner Daniel Smith?
Yes.
Next, a motion to approve or deny ALDOT for project number ACAA 65112-ATRP 015, widening and resurfacing of Greer Road, County Road 209, from Weoka Road to Bam Road, length 11.44 miles.
Motion to approve. Second.
Have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Call the roll.
Commissioner Taylor?
Yes.
Commissioner Falk?
Yes.
Chairman Bowen?
Yes.
Commissioner Rachel?
Yes.
Commissioner Daniel Smith?
Yes.
I have a motion to approve the consent docket.
Motion. Second.
Second.
Call the roll.
Commissioner Taylor?
Yes.
Commissioner Falk?
Yes.
Chairman Bowen?
Yes.
Commissioner Rachel?
Yes.
Commissioner Daniel Smith?
Yes.
Ms. McDuffie, do you have any further today?
No report at this time.
Mr. Byer, do you have any further?
No, sir, I do not.
Mr. Jones?
No, sir, I do not.
Mr. Weller?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Now, I wanted to have a time for comments from the commissioners. We'll start with Commissioner Taylor. Do you have any comments?
Yes, sir. I wanted to welcome all the students here. I know a lot of y'all are seniors, and you're fixing to embark out on life once you graduate this year. Your first responsibility right now that you're going to be out here, you're already paying taxes, but your new responsibility that some of y'all have already got to exercise is your right to vote. Go out and vote. Use this exercise, because a lot of people died for this right to vote, from the Revolutionary War to the Civil Rights Movement. Use that and go out, look at people, read up on them, vote for who you think will do the best job for presidency, for the Elmore County Commission, for mayor, whatever thing that you're voting on. Check into it and read about it. That's the biggest thing that I'm concerned for you about, because your tax dollars is going to be paying for things, and things that you probably don't know that we sit up here and know about is, we pay contracts for 911 service, so when you have an emergency, you pick up and dial 911. That wouldn't be possible without this commission, or your ambulance service, your roads that you ride on, your bridges that you go over. All this is paid by your tax dollars, and this commission up here just regulates that and sets contracts for that stuff. But get out and exercise your right to vote. There's great opportunities to work for Elmore County. Check into that when you get out of school. If you don't want to go to college, hey, go out and get in the workforce and get you a job that's got great benefits. And Elmore County can give you that opportunity if you want to come to work for us. And I also wanted to say, I see my Tallahassee family sitting here in front of me. I wanted to wish them good luck tomorrow in the baseball playoffs against Charles Henderson. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Commissioner Taylor. Commissioner Falk, do you have any comments?
I too, Mr. Chairman, would like to thank the students for coming. This is the 13th that I've been able to, County Government Day, that I've been able to participate in. And one of the questions I get as I move around the community, we have just, as Commissioner Taylor has stated, gone through primary elections. And the question I get is, what does a county commissioner do? If there's nothing else that you take away today from, is know that Local government is very important. It's important to know where you live, whether you're in the city limits of a city or whether you live in the county or outside of those city limits. It's also very important to know what role county commissioners play in local government. And basically what the county commissioner does in the state of Alabama is he budgets and directs the spending of revenue dollars, tax dollars collected in the county. And what we do is govern by committee and operate similarly to a board of directors of a corporation. And that's all the power that we have. We have a lot of responsibility because those combined budgets are right at $24 million in this county. There's a lot of responsibility to adequately budget for law enforcement, roads, and those things that Commissioner Taylor talked about. But we have very little authority. For example, county commissioners, county commissions in the state of Alabama cannot raise taxes. They cannot make a motion at one of these meetings and raise your taxes. Now, there's a lot of people who don't know that. If you take away nothing else but that, today you'll be ahead of most of the citizens, sadly, in the state of Alabama. And I wish there was a more exciting way. Maybe County Government Day is that exciting way to teach people, particularly students, as Commissioner Taylor said, you're going out in the workforce soon, that you'll know the role, the proper role, and educate yourself on what local government is and what it's all about in the state of Alabama. Also, I'd like to say that we have a lot of opportunities for employment in county governments in the state of Alabama. As Ms. McDuffie said, if you're analytical and you think a lot about numbers and you're thinking about going into accounting, there's a lot of opportunities in government accounting as it relates to counties in the state of Alabama. Thank you for coming, and hopefully we'll get on top of this air conditioning situation, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. I appreciate those comments. Commissioner Smoke, do you have any comments?
Just a few, Mr. Chairman. Good morning. I am Commissioner Smoke. First, I would like to congratulate all of you all who will be graduating this May. I'm sure you've done well in your academic endeavors and you've been successful in your high school studies and are preparing, as Commissioner Taylor said, to get ready to go out and make your mark in this world. So I do want to echo very loudly what he mentioned to you about voting. Excuse me. We all have the right to vote because of many people's bloodshed to afford us that right. So I do want to encourage you that if you are 18 already, or if you will be turning 18 prior to November the 8th of this year, and if you have not registered, please go out and register. You have a right to vote, and you should exercise that right. Your vote is your voice. So if you want to be heard in anything that you do in life, you have to take voting very seriously, and you have to go and cast your vote. And for those of you who will be going off to college, you can still cast your vote here in your home state. So if any of you have any additional questions about how you need to do that, our Board of Registrars office is right out the hall here to your left. Please pick up some information. They have some voting guides that will tell you exactly what you need to do for those who will be leaving, who either have not registered or need to register, and who also need to vote absentee. So please, by all means, make that one of your first priorities prior to leaving here, if you are leaving to go and further your studies. I also want to say that, you know, you do have a lot of opportunities. You have the whole world ahead of you, and you decide what direction you want to go in, be it an engineer, be it a CPA who also has an MBA, an attorney, a business owner. It's your choice. But you don't get a lot of opportunities to make the right choice all the time. So please, whatever you do, take your time and decide what your path is and what mark you want to leave, and eventually your legacy that you want to leave here in life. So thank you all for coming. I like Student Government Day. I know this does seem like it's boring, but believe me, it's not. Anytime you have the right to elect people who decide how your money is being used, where it will be used, and these are your tax dollars, then we all have a stake in making sure that we have the right people doing the right thing at all the right times. So again, thank you all so much, and the sky's the limit. I wish you all well. And if I, of course, can be a resource to any of you, your teachers, your classes, or anyone here today, please don't hesitate to reach out to me, and I'm sure that everyone here feels the same way. So thank you for coming, thank you for your attention, and we appreciate all that you have done so far as successful students, I'm sure, here in Elmore County.
Thank you, Commissioner Smoke. Commissioner Rachel, do you have a comment?
I'll make mine short. I'm glad to see such young adults and participating in county government. I hope you take away home something with this. It's enjoyable up here to do this, whether you work as a commissioner, a county employee, or whatever your goal in life is. I'd personally like to say hi to Judge Pinkston. I haven't seen him for a while. And I'd also like to say to all the county employees who participated in this, my hat goes off to all of you, because y'all have done a wonderful job. You have orchestrated this for years and years. And to the young adults, the sky's the limit. God bless you, and that's all.
Thank you, Commissioner Rachel. And to close out, I would like to say that every year I look forward to this day. And I look forward to it for the reason that it is important for you as young people to educate yourself on how your government works, whether it be the city government, a mayor, council, the county government, your state government, or your national government. Believe it or not, you have an important role to play as an individual to go out and vote for people that represent you. I encourage you to take this day and take this opportunity to learn about your local government. Now, local government is the one that deals directly with the people. Now, you can have a lot of people that jump up and down and holler about what's happening in Washington and all that, but we are actually here. We actually live here. We have our phone numbers. It's posted in the paper every week. People can call us. They can see us in the store, at the restaurants. So local government is where the rubber meets the road. So thank you for coming. Thank you for participating. Thank you for being well behaved during this meeting. And I want to have a motion to adjourn, but before I do that, please remain seated until further instructions are given, okay? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Commissioner Taylor?
Yes.
Commissioner Falls?
Yes.
Chairman Bowen?
Yes.
Commissioner Rachel?
Yes.
Commissioner Daniels?
Yes.
We're adjourned. You too.